This is nice.
Welcome to the Blue Cross Blue Shield performance stage.
Do I get insurance after this?
No, but to be fair, none of us do.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm not a morning person, so I don't wake up till about 2. You know, because I'm up all night. You know what I mean?
What are you doing all night?
Stand up.
Yeah.
Stand-up comedy.
You know, that kind of explains it. When you came on stage, you like waited for me to sit down, and I was like, wow, he takes stand-up seriously.
I really do. Yeah, I was going to stand the whole time, but it feels awkward to talk to somebody that's sitting down.
Sitting down, but you know, everybody else is sitting down, so I figured we'd get to their level, right?
Absolutely.
Well, we're excited because you have 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow at the Chicago Improv, yes?
I do, yeah. 7 and 9:15 today and tomorrow. There'll be different shows. Some stuff will be the same.
Oh, okay. Do you normally do the same set when you're like performing, or are you trying new stuff out?
Always trying new stuff, especially when I'm building towards a new hour. So right now I'm building towards a new hour.
Okay.
And I'm also building jokes that I can like put into the ether, because that's where the internet is right now. You just have to have
the clickbait.
Clips,
yeah,
and content. Yeah. So I'm always working on new stuff, and I like to improvise jokes. So I'll. Whatever's happening in the room. I have ADHD, so I can't like.
so he's gonna make eye contact with all of you at some point.
So
today.
I'm sitting there. I might get to know every single one of y'all. but whatever's happening in the room, which is always a lot of stuff happening. Jokes will come out in the air, and I like to make that specific to every show. So there's always something you'll see that no other show saw.
That's exciting. You're in Chicago right now, and you're from Chicago, right?
Yeah, and the suburbs. I just have to let y'all know, because Chicago's very strict about where you from, what hospital, what doctor. You know what I mean?
It's funny you say that, because I was really excited. I was like, oh my gosh, Chicago's very own. And I started doing some digging, and will you let everybody know where you're actually from?
Oh, St. Louis. I was born in St. Louis, and then we moved to Chicago when I was 7.
What part of Chicago?
Then we moved to the west side. Then we moved to the west suburbs. So I went to school in Naperville and Aurora. This is not information I hide. It's out there. I make jokes about it in my special. But I did learn by coming here that so many people lie about where they're from here.
Oh yeah.
So you get grouped in because you're not born here as somebody who pretends.
Chicago proper is what they say.
Actually, but I came up in comedy in Chicago proper. I was always out here. I really wanted to be a city kid. I didn't like the suburbs at all. A little racist for me back then.
Fair.
I don't know how they are now. I don't go there. But but Chicago proper's always had my heart though. Yeah.
So you said that you did the comedy scene here in Chicago, and if you guys know, we've got Second City, which a lot of the greats have been through. Where did you start performing?
Everywhere. So I was rapping before comedy. So when I got into comedy, I embraced all of comedy. So I went to Second City, IO, Annoyance. That's where I did a lot of my. And then there was a bunch of other clubs, the Playground. I mean, everywhere. I was everywhere. Studio B at the time, if it was still here. And then I did stand up at the same time. So I did that at like a bar that was also a bowling alley, which was so bad. But also.
Wait, that's funny, because if you bombed, then you can literally just hear like pins dropping.
Yeah, you can hear them regardless, but definitely when you bombing. You know what I mean? You can hear the ball rolling. You can hear everything. Yeah.
So you are also the host of Resurrected Ride.
Yes.
And this is basically like the resurrection of Pimp My Ride, yeah?
Yeah. Well, it's like a reboot of it in a different way, different show, but same people, so very confusing. And but it was cool to help people. I was just like, as long as they get to keep their cars for real.
So they do actually get to keep their cars.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
That was like part of my deal. Was like, I don't want any lawsuits, because the first one had lawsuits after, and I was like, I can't afford lawsuits. You see how little my chain is? I can't afford lawsuits, bruh. So.
Is it real?
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait, so okay, you're helping fix people's cars. What was the first car you ever drove? That first little beater that you had riding around Naperville.
I've only driven beaters. So I had a 1999 Nissan Altima.
Okay.
And I put a gang of miles on that. Then I had a 99 Mitsubishi Galant. Both of them were maroon colored, burgundy. Yeah, they were not like lookers, but I had a car though. I never had a new car. And now my girl now, she has a car that I drive sometimes, and she has a really great car. And so the next car I buy will be new. But I've only had like those cars.
Really?
Yeah.
But even after, because I know that you were on SNL for 5 years, you didn't want to get yourself a brand new car?
I was in New York City, man. You know what I
That's
mean? Like I didn't
true.
really I didn't really understand living in a city with a car for real. Like I only had a car here because I was, because I lived in Aurora when I first started comedy. Then I moved to DeKalb, and I was driving every day
Yikes.
back and forth to DeKalb
I
doing
mean,
comedy.
shout out to DeKalb. I just mean that's far from the
Yeah,
city.
no, it's mad far. It's mad far, man. I've lived more places in the Chicagoland area in Chicago than most people from here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm driven a bajillion miles for my dreams. So it's how it is.
Okay, I've got to ask you the question then, because I feel like Chicago and New York get compared all of the time.
They're mad different.
But which is better?
What? That's not even a question for real. Like I love Chicago. Chicago's, this is the city that made me a man. But I will say, out of all the places I've lived outside of Chicago, New York is my favorite.
Yeah.
It's it's a bigger city in a way, and it's very different vibes. But the hustle is just amazing there. Yeah.
Really, really love Chicago, but then where are you living right now?
New York.
New York still.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite thing to do on the weekends?
Shows. I'm
You
a
really-
workaholic,
You're
man.
about it all the time.
I'm a workaholic. I do shows, but I like to go to the Met. They have this thing where you can walk around the museum drinking with wine and stuff. That's tight.
I ask you that because I want to know where you get your inspiration for comedy. If you're always working, how are you getting those materials for the lifestyle stories that you're telling?
I mean, I like to travel, but it's not. I don't travel just on weekend. Weekends to me is work. So I travel during the week. I
Okay.
mean, we just went to Italy, Venice, which was tight.
During the week, and then you came back on Saturday night to...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah. And you
Okay.
come back and you go
It's
right to
possible.
work. Yeah. And then even when I'm going on tour, I get to go to different cities and travel a lot. So I get to have a lot of those experiences. I get to know every city I go to. I do a lot of research. I talk to people. You know what I mean? So I usually travel with a couple comics, and we'll just get to know people in the city the whole weekend. And that's a way of just gaining life experience. That's my favorite part about the job, is just the research behind it.
Do you ever do a set in front of other comedians and they come up to you after and they're like, hey, I really like this joke, but here's how you can make it better?
Yeah, they don't say it like that, 'cause that's crazy. but
How do they say it? How do they say it?
I got a tag for you, is how they say it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I got a tag.
I
I'm
got
going
a
to start
tag
saying
for
that to people.
Don't. Don't. You shouldn't. Unless you know them like that. But I mean, people say it all the time. It just depends on. I take it with grace. It's all a part of the game. But it depends on who the comic is, if I take it serious.
Right. 'Cause
Or
you-
how good the tag is, honestly.
You've worked with some really amazing people. Like you were just in the movie, was it Candy Cane Lane?
Yeah.
With Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was amazing. I wanted to be in a project where I could swear a little more with Eddie, but it was amazing. It was my favorite comic in the world, a guy who kind of got me into this. You know what I mean? And just being able to be on set and cracking jokes and have him laughing at jokes I'm cracking and talking about his SNL days versus mine. And I mean, there's no comparison. His was way better, but it's just cool
I
to
love
hear.
how honest you are.
Yeah, I mean, he's Eddie Murphy. Where
Yeah.
any black person that came on that show after him was just trying to be him. You know what I mean? Or just trying to have the same impact. And there's no having the same impact.
He's Eddie
But,
Murphy.
Yeah. It was cool.
What is a project that you're working on right now that you're the most excited about?
I'm writing a show, an action comedy, which is my style of comedy.
Are you writing it or are you in it?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, and and we're in the works with it right now, so can't talk about too much, but it's what I've
You
always
can
wanted
tell
to
us
do.
one secret and we'll cut it out.
If it's
No, we
with,
won't.
It's with I'm working with Jordan Peele on some things, and then I used to do these sketches on SNL that were one specific one where I was like a drug dealer trying to take over the my gang, but I didn't know how to do it, and it's in the vein of that. So yeah, that's all I can say right now. But it's just taking what I was doing at SNL and kind of doing my own thing with it.
You have your 1 hour special that's on HBO now, and
Yeah.
it's called Why Am I Like This?
Yes, still
And-
searching for the answers.
Yes. How much do you think you've changed since that special?
I hope I've gotten way better since then.
Are you still in therapy?
I am. Yeah, that doesn't stop. Yeah, I actually got a better therapist since that special.
Okay, I need to
Yeah.
know. You're a comedian. How do you fire your therapist?
Uh,
Do you tell her I got a tag for you?
nah.
A new client?
You close the laptop slowly. That's about it. You know what I mean? It's you pay them and then you just stop showing up. I think that's how I did it. I've had 3 therapists before the one I have now, and the first one, her office was smelly, and I was like, damn, I can't have you take care of me if you can't take care of you. You know what I'm saying? So so I didn't tell her that.
Right,
You know what I mean? But I did tell everybody on my tour. And then I've been fired a lot, so I know how to fire people.
Okay.
If I got to.
You mentioned you had a girl earlier who has a nicer car than you and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Do you talk about her on your tour, and does she ever get mad at you for any jokes you say?
Nah, she's pretty understanding that comedy is comedy, you know what I mean? Yeah, I talk about my life, with her and everything. It's always fun. I talk about my parents too. They didn't believe in me at first, so they got to catch a little bit of these licks every now and then.
You're like, I made it.
Yeah.
Was getting on SNL your I made it moment, or you haven't had that
No,
yet?
it was a beautiful blessing that kind of came because I wasn't really looking to be on SNL when I was coming up in Chicago.
That's crazy. Everybody's looking to be on SNL.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's so many routes to take to get where you want to go, and it came from my not wanting to be on SNL came from just trying to protect myself because when I was in Chicago coming up, I would never get picked for those auditions for them. And so I just built up a plan that didn't really involve that show. And so when it came, I was like, oh, for real? And I didn't really do a ton of impressions. I do characters, but like I wasn't doing a ton of impressions at the time. So I was like, I don't know if I'm a good fit for the show, but I'm like, I do like comedy music and I do like
You were a
sketches.
rapper.
Yeah. So I was like, so I ended up getting on the show and I ended up loving it. And I ended up liking impressions more, so there's a lot of aspects of comedy that I embraced once I got the job. Yeah.
Do you ever spit some raps during your shows?
No, I've been really specific about keeping it separate.
Okay.
Because I really rap, and there.
So
there are,
you're not like the Lil Dicky rapping. You're like
no. Well, I have funny raps now.
Yeah.
But I was like a real rapper, so I was really self-conscious about trying.
from Naperville. Tough streets.
From St. Louis. I lived in Naperville. People, you're from where you were born. I hate Naperville. Anyway, but like people in Chicago are they love to bring that up. Like,
I'm sorry.
no, it's fine. It's just like a shot that people take.
I can't help it.
I know. Yeah, y'all Chicagoans are annoying about that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I was in Naperville. I robbed a lot of people out there. They left their doors open.
That's their fault.
It very much is. There's a show, Friends and Neighbors with John Hamm, and it just reminds me of my time in Naperville.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
No confessions on B96.
Hey man, it's past the statute of limitations.
He looked it up.
Yeah, girl, I know the law. I went to Naperville schools, baby. They had all their books. You know what I'm saying?
So how would you feel if you're doing your show at the Chicago Improv tonight or tomorrow and you look out at the audience and you recognize some of your teachers? Would you shout them out? Some of your old peers from your Naperville school days?
No, I wouldn't. I don't shout people out. I don't like to shout people out because I mess with the crowd and I do improv. I don't want people to think I set it up. So I don't like people I know really in my eyesight. But if they're being disruptive or if it's something or if it just happens to happen, I'm not gonna ever like put too much pressure on myself to not say something, but I usually it's not a go-to. I just like to see, but I've seen a lot of people from Naperville come to my shows, and it's just like, they're like, oh man, I never knew you were a comic because you didn't talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool. It's cool to like get that validation that they didn't think I was gonna do nothing, and now I'm doing stuff.
You're doing a lot of stuff, and you should be very, very excited, very, very proud. We can't wait to continue seeing you.
I'm on Raising Kanan, so if you like 50 Cent shows, I'm on that, and I'm still not dead yet. And Yeah, man, and and I'm doing stand up, and I'll be dropping a bunch of stand up. I drop stand up pretty much every week, but I'll be dropping more.
And most importantly, you're going to be dropping a lot tonight at the Chicago Improv.
Absolutely.
So make sure that you're able to get your tickets for tonight's 2 shows and tomorrow's for Chris Red.
Yeah, man, come out, come out, even if you're in Naperville, come on out.
Everyone's welcome.
Everyone's welcome, man. I'm in Schaumburg, so it's safe for y'all.